TYT Sports, Ben Mankiewicz. This is a story we've done before. We're going to keep at it because I believe that my point is being bared out, maybe. That's the only kind of commitment you're going to get from me here at TYT Sports. Michael Vick has missed another commitment. He canceled the Oprah show, then he didn't show up at a charity event, and now he has missed something called ESPN First Take. He was scheduled to appear live on this show, ESPN First Take, last Friday afternoon. Late in the show, though, the host, Dana Jacobson, talked to the assembled crowd at Disney's Hollywood studios out here in Los Angeles, informed them Vick was a no-show. She said, quote, "We have some bad news. We're supposed to interview Mike Vick. We've been telling you about it. Sadly, though, the Eagles pulled the interview." She says that's what she's being told. In all honesty, we were looking forward to talking to Michael about what has been a turnaround season for him after what's been a rough few years. Yeah, the years he spent in prison and getting to some other stuff. The Eagles, though, quickly came back and refuted that story, and they said Vick was never asked to be on the show. Again, it's ridiculous, said an Eagles spokesman in an emailed statement to Pro Football Talk, that never actually denied whether the team yanked Vick from the interview or not. All it claims is that Vick himself did not cancel. So we got a little he said, she said about a relatively unimportant issue. Did the Eagles pull him? Was Vick never told in the first place? But what we do know is that 3 times in 3 weeks, Vick has been scheduled to appear somewhere and did not. He pulled out of the Oprah interview officially about a week before it went on. But the charity event and this event, the people found out the day of, at the event, that he didn't show up. And on its face, this could mean nothing. But I will only say that the Mike Vick turnaround story is one that everybody loves, everybody's embracing. We all want to believe that it's a great story. And part of it is a great story. A guy commits these terrible acts and engages in dogfighting and brutally kills these dogs. He goes to prison, he comes back, and he's one of the best players in the NFL and probably the most exciting player in the NFL. But the part of the story that I have trouble buying, and I'm not saying I don't believe it, but I don't believe the turnaround part of it, is that he's pure of heart. And we love to believe these sort of wonderful stories of redemption. Don't mistake me. He gets to play in the NFL. He went to prison. He served nearly 2 years. He served his time. He gets to earn a living. There's no dispute. I don't buy anyone's argument that he doesn't get to play in the NFL. He deserves it. No question about it. But I don't think we necessarily should be spending a lot of time celebrating that, hey, Michael Vick's back. He's learned his lesson. I don't know whether he's learned his lesson. As I've said many times, I'm not George Bush. I don't see into his heart. And I know that people who commit sort of acts of torture, and that's what this was, not against people, that would be different, and then he wouldn't get to play, but commit acts of torture against defenseless animals, hanging them, drowning them, shooting them in the head, suggesting to me a sadistic pleasure in that, they don't spend 20 months in prison and become a good person. A bad person does that, a person who's got something wrong with them. Mike Vick is saying the right things, doing the right things, and he deserves to play in the NFL. But something's wrong with a guy who does that. And all of a sudden, he's missing events. And maybe the story, the beautiful, wonderful redemption story, maybe it's not beautiful and wonderful. And maybe Mike Vick's a bad guy who deserves a chance to play in the NFL again. And maybe he's a really exciting player who murdered dogs and is a bad guy. And we should probably keep that in mind. And the mainstream media should maybe keep that in mind as they go forward with these wonderful stories about the Michael Vick turnaround. And maybe we should separate the professional turnaround from the emotional and personal turnaround. Or I could be wrong.